For people who had a glow up at some point in their life, how did you notice people treating you differently, and how did you react? I used to be real rough around the edges. Fat patchy beard, unkempt hair, clean but disheveled look. I dressed the bare minimum amount of professional for work. Sometime before my 27th birthday, I remember seeing an ad for a barber shop with a half off coupon for a professional haircut and shave. I went and they made me look so much better. I looked so good that I immediately went and bought some nicer clothes, just a couple slacks and button downs, but I looked good. From then on, while I'm not a suit guy, I made sure I always looked neat and presentable. My boss treated me better. I actually got asked out a couple times. I felt better about myself and cared what I ate and drank. I was more sociable and enjoyable. Freshman year of college, I lost about 30 pounds and immediately noticed people treating me better, being much more polite and accommodating, more likely to start a conversation. Was nice at first but then made me a little cynical. My boyfriend was overweight, awkward, and painfully shy in high school. In college he got super fit and through a lot of cool opportunities, became charismatic and outgoing. He even became a paid streamer for a few years. When we had first started dating, I remember this girl who knew him from high school came to one of his house parties and started like hardcore hitting on him. OMG, you look so good. You look so different. You really changed, wow. She was like trying to give him hugs, and he wasn't really having it. He told me 2 nights later, when I wasn't there, she showed up out of the blue at his house and basically said something along the lines of, "It's good you were fat in high school, because that probably makes you humble, but now you must be grateful you can get a girl like me." He politely asked her to leave, and we laughed about it. To this day, every once in a while he'll run into someone from high school, and they'll act kind of surprised by his appearance, but that was for sure the weirdest and most blatant example. My glow up wasn't physical, it was mental. When I had my first child, my hormones helped my mental health level out and everyone couldn't help but mention how happy I seemed, even when I was getting 2 hours of sleep because of breastfeeding. I didn't end up needing as many medications and was able to get more active in my community and with my friends and family. So I'm a good bit heavier than I'm happier being. Used to weigh 115 pounds. Now when not pregnant it's closer to 150, but I'm not tired and sullen anymore. I have more or less looked the same for most of my adult life. Fairly handsome, but never really had any luck with girls. That changed pretty much immediately when I got into my first serious long-term relationship with my now ex. Suddenly I was getting attention from all these girls whenever me and the ex went out. They were shameless in their approaches and could barely give a rat's ass that my girlfriend was sitting next to me. I'm less approachable than when I was single. Yet now is the time I'm getting approached and getting all this positive attention. I always found that really odd. I'm back to single now and it's back to the good old normal of being mostly ignored. People are fucking weird. People started noticing me and respecting more my opinions. I felt so destroyed by the difference that I stopped believing in true friendship and love. Everyone is superficial, either they realize it or not. Edit. For context, I'm a man, and that realization came some time ago, starting on my late teens and finally reaching a critical point in my mid-20s. It was something I sawed through the longest of times, but tried to fight off. Believe me, making friends becomes harder as you get older for a reason. Was kinda bullied throughout school. Not severely, but it was made very clear to me that I was unpopular and weird and unattractive compared to the other girls. I had fairly unkempt hair that was long enough to sit on, quite a skinny boyish frame and one eye. Also desperately wanted to be a goth or at least alternative from like the age of 7, idolizing Sisu a lot. When I got to 6th form, roughly 16 to 18 years old, there was a sudden change in how people acted towards me. The same people who called me a freak for my eccentric way of dressing/acting now wanted to be my friend. Boys who had asked me out as a prank were now clearly lying when they drunkenly confessed to me at parties I had a huge crush on you all throughout high school. Girls started inviting me out and acting like they'd been close friends with me this whole time. I didn't really believe these people suddenly liked me tbh. I think they just found it novel to have a quirky one-eyed friend. I don't forget lol. Just went from kinda fat to nearly underweight 5 feet 7, 160 pounds to 125/130 pounds. I wasn't fat, just really chubby. Started eating kinda better, giving a shit about how many calories I was taking in a day and burning, and over the course of 2 semesters of high school, I had magically lost a good fourth of my body weight. No difference, maybe less fat jokes, but my friends still like calling me fat. Parties got kinda more fun though. Sometimes people would just come up to me and be like, yo man, you're looking really good lately, and that shit meant, and means, so much. Still ugly though. Losing weight did not change that, haha. Dude, I didn't know I had eyebrows for 14 years of my life. Because of my thick ass bangs. Also, my mom used to make me wear pants up to my belly button when high-waisted pants didn't exist. Just regular ones pulled up real high, and most of them were floral leggings with some shorts on top and a weird net knee on top. Those were some really dark times. Now here's the thing, I'm a ginger with some cool curves, now with a better hairstyle, skin and overall everything. The first thing I noticed was a lot of attention from boys, but I only really understood I had a glow up when I had 4 different people online stealing my pictures to catfish other people. Great compliment, yeah, but now every social media I have is private, and I blocked 80% of my followers. Just to make sure I could get rid of those nasty people, leaving only the people I know are safe. Honestly, it was good in a way, because I stopped looking for validation and I have a wonderful boyfriend that likes me for more than my looks, so that's great. But yeah, internet people using my photos to fool others was bad. People that weren't friends with me could never remember my name. I never had any luck with girlfriends and was always super self-conscious. I had a glow up my senior year of high school, but barely noticed a difference in the way people treated me. People have said to me that they didn't notice my glow up because they still had the old image of me in my head. I went to college and right off the bat got some attention from girls. It was kind of surreal feeling, and I honestly did not know what to do with myself. I had never had a real relationship at that point and barely knew how to interact with girls that weren't just friends. I was more happy that new people I met in college remembered my name. I was fairly cute in high school, went through a super frumpy period as a Mormon wife, and now that I've left Mormonism and my ex-husband, I'm much more put together. The difference is stark. I get treated better. People at work are more likely to listen to my ideas. I get offers for free things from legitimate businesses. I MTN bike, so any minor question or repair is usually free, and I get a lot more attention. While I think it's helpful for my career, it definitely feels superficial and lame. I'm just as smart now as I was then. In the first year of high school I lost 50 pounds, and another 20 the following year. Everyone would point out how much I had glowed up, how I looked so good now that I was skinny, and how they thought I looked so much happier. The difference in the way people would treat me was insane. Boys who had bullied me started to flirt, acting like I wouldn't remember all the shitty things they had said to me. Some girls got meaner, while others got a whole lot nicer. Every single person in my life changed the way they treated me, even family. No more lectures or fat jokes. I gained a lot of friends, but I lost the girl who I had been best friends with for 9 years. It just came to a point where I couldn't stand to let her take her jealousy and anger out on me anymore. So I slowly pushed her out of my life. She would always joke about being the pretty one, or how crazy it would be if I lost my virginity before she did. And, well, I did. After we had stopped being friends, the boy who she had a crush on / who she was trying to hook up with ended up really liking me. I didn't know this until after the guy and I had already started hanging out, and he had stopped talking to her to pursue me. I took his V card instead of him taking hers. I can't lie, part of me felt bad for her, while another part was glad karma finally hit. The thing is, I liked being the fat kid a whole lot more. Without constantly worrying about my appearance, I felt more true to myself than I ever have since. I was way happier when I was fat. I liked who I was way more. Now, I look in the mirror and I feel like a fraud, and I don't know why. I feel less comfortable in my skin than I did before. I always thought that losing weight would fix all of my problems, but it just created new ones. If I could, I would go back to who I was when I was fat. I like that person more. As a teenager I was pretty chunky and wore unfortunate clothes, makeup, and had a terrible hairstyle. I just wore large baggy things to hide my body and way too much eyeliner. Anyway, I ended up losing all my extra weight due to anxiety. Naturally, I started wearing more flattering clothes and got over my obsession with eyeliner. Suddenly all the guys I previously knew, who had never shown an interest in me, started flirting with me. It was nice at first feeling desirable and having all that attention. Then I started to get upset. Some of these people had known me for a while now. My personality hadn't changed at all, just my looks. It made me feel like all that I really had to offer were my looks, since my personality, achievements, and intelligence never interested anyone before. It really messed me up for a while and I really leaned into the idea that I had nothing of worth to offer. I was getting more attention than I ever had, but I had the worst confidence and self-image of my life. I started buying revealing clothes, dieting, working out a lot, all to keep my image up, since I believed that was all that mattered. It took me a really long time to get over that. It was just a huge 180 from being the gross chunky girl to the attractive one with nice boobs and ass, especially for a young woman still figuring out her place in the world. But I finally feel like a well-rounded person who should be liked for her personality and talents, not just her looks.